I have spent a couple of hours so far painting my very first Zergling. Naturally, he's been named Lester.
Looks like you mashed some poor feller's dog, Sarge.
It's a Zergling, Lester. Smaller type of Zerg.
Today we're going to continue onwards with him. So I have finished most of the darker carapace. I'm really quite happy with how the brown and all that has turned out. We have a lot more highlights to apply across the board, and especially the purple details just need to look a little bit better. I do have 3 other Zerglings that I did base coat with the airbrush so far, but no brush painting on these just yet. Now this is meant to be an army project. I would like to actually make a full army, or at least, you know, a healthy chunk of it. So I'm trying to, at least for my standards, be kind of quick with the painting, because I tend to be very slow. As per usual, though, I'm not going to be rushing anything, but yeah, just the general goal is to make things look nice. Maybe I'll actually continue highlighting the carapace a little bit more. I think the darker carapace looks pretty good. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit. Ooh, there we go. I think the darker carapace does look pretty good. Maybe we should take it one notch even brighter, you know, in some of the, yeah, maybe not. Some of the most upward-facing areas. Do we start with the purple today? I still have to do the claws and whatnot too, but I kind of want to make a bit of a start with the purple today. Also, practical tip. I saw some people painting minis for the first time on the internet. Don't paint above your palette. Don't paint right over here. Because it's only a tiny little accident for like the miniature to fall out of your hands and then take a little nosedive through your paint. This is a very common thing that happens to people. Don't do it. You're gonna be very sad. So I still have some of the paints from, this is a couple days ago now, on the palette. I want to see if I can actually like still make them workable. I've never had it happen personally, no. I've never had it happen personally, but I've heard stories of it, and it makes me sad. The idea of it makes me, just trying to mix through the different parts again. So this is one of the advantages of using a wet palette. So this palette I have, yeah, this paint is maybe screwed. Maybe still okay in some ways. The wet palette is kind of nice. Do recommend it actually if you're thinking about starting mini painting. Basically, rather than using like an old school palette, this is what a lot of acrylic paints can really use well. Basically, it's like a, I'll show you, I guess. There's like a sponge over here, and the sponge is like soaked in water, and then you put this like very thin sheet of paper through it, or on top of it, I guess, and some of the water will actually go up. And if you close it off, not only will mold grow, okay, that's not the goal. You don't actually want the mold to grow, but you can actually keep it workable for a couple days, usually. Yeah, some paints will separate quicker than other paints. Like, for example, metallic paints, they tend to separate really quickly, so you can't really use them very well on a wet palette. But this purple looks okay. It's kind of nice, especially if you have like a... start relayering some of the purple. It's kind of nice, especially if you've done like some specific mixes. Where you would kind of want it to be a bit... I don't know, a bit more accurate, so you don't have to fully remix it every time you begin painting. You do obviously want to actually have it fully dry up every once in a while, but... You'll smell it! You'll smell it if the paint has gone bad. Have I ever used Pro Acryl paints? I have, yeah. I have a couple of the Pro Acryl metallic paints, and I do quite like them. We obviously have to go way brighter on all of the purple details. Currently the purple details are looking very mellow. I've seen most people that paint the Zerg mini so far that go into like full pink. I don't know if I want to go that far. I feel like full pink might be a bit much. I don't really know if I like that look, but a lot of people are apparently giving that a shot right now. Like in my mind, maybe I'm wrong, but in my mind, Zerglings are like brownish and purple most of the time, right? Like not brownish and pink. But maybe I'm the one that's wrong, I don't know. We're listening to a little bit of Ashenville music, by the way. Very appropriate for the Swarm. This is the Night Elf area in World of Warcraft. Yeah, it's really fun. Like, one of the joys of mini painting, I think, is trying out different things. There's plenty of things to try out, let me tell you. Different paints are always kind of fun to try out. Different paint brushes can be really fun as well. He's got little circular gaps in his top of the legs there. Like, what are those supposed to be? Not sure what that is. Do they normally have those? Are they supposed to be very bright? I'm honestly not sure what those little Zergling gaps on the legs are. I guess I can paint them in a brighter pink or purple-ish, but I don't know what it's supposed to be. Not sure. Current enemy faction in WoW is heavily inspired by the Zerg? Really? Why are the Zerg the baddies when they're clearly the good guys? We want to make sure that we get some nice smooth transitions. Smooth transitions from like brown to purple, or really any transition, but it takes usually quite a few layers of very thinned down paint. So that's the nice thing about acrylic paints. They're very transparent. You can paint minis with any type of paint, obviously, but acrylics are the go-to. I need to look up what these little circular things on the side are supposed to be. I have no idea. What are the gaps on the side of the Zergling's legs? If anybody has any ideas, please let me know. I'm very curious. I guess the go-to thing that I can just do is make it look brighter. Like, we can just make it look like it's part of the... We can just highlight it, I guess. See those little, like those 3 holes right over there? I don't know what that's supposed to be. All right. I'm going to start introducing a little bit of this stuff. So the base coat color is this. I think we're going to brighten up all the way to pure Genestealer purple, but we'll go with a little bit of a mix initially. Pretty strong color. Yeah, I'm curious, Flying Dominion. I think if you could post a link in the chat, that would be great. I think they're just supposed to be, I don't know, little speed indicators or something. Yeah, in the official artwork, they are kind of pinkish. Curious. Just kind of pinkish with some little brighter highlights in them. I don't know, man. Obviously, we don't have to paint them exactly like the official artwork. Okay, thank you for the link. So I mostly want to think about where the highlights need to be, judging by where the light would hit the mini. So for example, this side of the face would be kind of bright. Want to be careful that I don't accidentally go over all of the dark carapace, I guess. There's a distinct little cutoff where the darker carapace seems to begin and where the face ends. And I'm going to include this little plate over here too as part of the face. For example, the whole belly of the mini. There's a little bit of purple there too. Since it is going to be in the shadow anyways. I mean, we can add a little bit of highlighting there, but technically, it probably doesn't need it. I can follow some of these ridges a little bit. This is a very thinned down paint anyway, so not a lot of this will show up, but I think it makes sense for this to not be too bright. Same for the little shoulder bit. Trying to make sure that we follow the shape of the muscle. Muscle painting is kind of weird, man. You don't want it to be little islands. It's very easy when you're trying to highlight organic shapes to create little pockets, like little islands. Not what you want to do though most of the time. Probably should use a bit of a smaller brush here for the next highlights. This brush is kind of big. Oh, those orbs are indications of maybe the adrenal glands? Really? Those little pockets? Interesting. Never thought about that. I have an adrenal glands too in my body, bro, and I don't show it to anybody. I keep it inside of my body. At least most of the time. We could add like a little bit of a contrast paint as well, actually. With some of these purple details, it could look really quite nice. Problem is that it's already quite dark. Contrast paints tend to work better over light coats. The light is a little bit harsh. I'm gonna... Hold up. Let me see if I can... There we go. That's probably better. Not too bad. I think I'm gonna just add a little bit of the brown wash, the Agrax Earthshade, to some of the recesses here. That's way too much, Loco. Lick the brush. Very important to be a brush licker. Some people tell you it's gross. Don't listen to those people. Okay, what do they know? Agrax Earthshade tastes delicious. Trying to get a little bit of darkness in all of the darkest corners here. The only downside with this stuff is that it kind of dries up a little bit more glossy. I think we'll just hit it with a matte varnish when we're done, which will make everything look nice and samey. The main downside of some of these Citadel paints, man. Like, some of them are glossy, some of them are kind of matte. Most of them are somewhere in the middle. But it's a bit inconsistent. I don't know why. Maybe it's just my versions. Oh, no. You definitely don't want to be, you don't want to be a brush licker with oil-based paints, that's for sure. Honestly, you probably don't want to be a brush licker at all. I think we're gonna take it up another step. Let's switch out to a smaller brush. So this is a size 2 that I was just painting with. This is a size 00. Those are like the main brushes I usually tend to use. Kinda nice. So for this one, I mostly just want to follow all of the raised sections. Try to stay within the lines of the previous highlight. We can fix any mistakes pretty easily, but it's easier to not make any mistakes. Because if you don't make any mistakes, then you have nothing to fix. Just don't make mistakes. That's the key, okay? Try to not make mistakes. Just don't be stupid. Just put the brush where the brush needs to go. Just paint better. That's what I tell myself anyways. Interestingly enough, it is going better. Like, after painting for a while, the brush does start to listen a little bit more. I know. Like, the brush actually listens more. Maybe it's all the sweet nothings that I whisper in its ear. every evening. This song in the background, full nostalgia for me. Like, this is straight nostalgia. As someone who is a recovering WoWaholic, this makes me want to roll a new character right away. Ay, ay, ay. How did the StarCraft minis compare to the Games Workshop ones? They're very similar in quality. Maybe a little bit harder to paint. Like, I feel like the Games Workshop ones will have more defined lines in some sections, but these are very good. Like, the quality of the plastic is extremely good. The models are all well done. I've only built 4 of them so far, but I imagine that the rest of them is going to be excellent as well. Like, they really are going straight after Games Workshop with this set. It seems to be popping off, man. Like, it seems to be... It's always hard to say how much staying power something new has, right? But it seems like a lot of people are interested in this game. It seems like they've basically just made a similar type of game, right? Like a similar idea. But then straight up undercut some of the pricing of Games Workshop and created similarly high quality models. Yeah. You gotta work through a whole bunch of Age of Sigmar Oryx first? Same, dude. I have a box of Oryx. I've painted 2 of them. Surely I'll finish the rest of the Spearhead. No, I have the whole Spearhead, not just the brutes. They are lovely minis, though. The Oryx are really nice. I mean, at this rate, I will finish my Spearhead if I paint one of them every Orctober in the year 2069 or so, give or take. It's good on foe. Okay. Getting some of the little highlights down definitely helps. I'm actually pretty happy that after not painting very much over the last, like, maybe 3 months or so, I don't feel like I'm noticeably worse. I was a little bit afraid of that. I really was having like a pretty nice groove there last year where we were painting every day. Even if it was only like a half hour or an hour or so. I was a little worried we were gonna have a very quick regression, but Maybe it's like riding a bicycle, you know? I don't know. Maybe it's just something that I can pick up every once in a while. Okay. You wish high-quality minis weren't so expensive? Yeah. I get it. Like, obviously the running joke is that it's literally plastic inside of a cardboard box on a sprue. Right? Like, that is the joke where people are like, yo, but you're literally, you're buying plastic. Like, in a cardboard box. Like, why is it expensive? But it is obviously a lot of work just to get stuff around the world, and usually you can spend many, many, many hours with just one box of miniatures. Like, as far as hobbies go, there's many more expensive hobbies, I guess, is what I'm trying to say, but does not take away that it's a little bit of an upfront cost for sure. I think we need to go brighter, guys. I assumed that these purple tones would be bright enough, but I'm looking at it now. I think we have to go a little bit brighter still. Oh, you can spend way longer on one box of 50 euro than 50 hours. Kits are more expensive, yeah. True. That's okay. Okay, alright, alright. Maybe the purple is okay like it is, I don't know. I think maybe I should just add some, like... It's the same for the dark carapace. I think we should maybe just add like a little bit of some brighter speckles in some spots. But maybe it's a good idea to just add like an off-white. So I was planning on highlighting the teeth and all the claws with some of this, which is like a bone color. But I think if I mix a bit of this into like the brown that I used for highlighting the carapace, and then also into the purple that I'm using right now for all of this, I think it'll probably look good. I did spill over a little bit. Trying to reestablish some of the shades. Like very small highlights, I mean, with the ivory color mixed in. Just little speckles here and there. Where the light would catch. Got a lot of experience with this motion. Yeah, shake it. Okay, there we go. Gotta make sure the paint is mixed through properly. You paint miniatures for Dungeons and Dragons, and finding affordable, good quality minis that fit the campaign you're playing is a pain. Right. But I mean, if you play D&D, again, not justifying the cost of miniatures, but you will be reusing the same mini for many, many, many hours, right? Like buying a really high quality plastic model for like 20 bucks that you can play for hundreds of hours doesn't seem that crazy to me. But obviously the whole idea of Dungeons and Dragons is you can kind of just play with anything, right? But that's just kind of how much it costs to make stuff, right? This costs, yeah. It's not cheap. Ah, you mean monsters and whatnot. Right, okay. Yeah, that's true. So say you have like a dragon or whatever. Maybe you only use it one time. That's a good point. I didn't think about that. Okay. I have a little bit of the Screaming Skull, is what the paint is called right over here. And I'll mix in a little bit of these two colors together. It's a very desaturated purple, but I think it'll probably work. Just in like the brightest areas. Like a little bit of a definition line like so. Maybe some... I'll zoom in a little bit, see if it's visible. See if I can add maybe a couple of little dots as well. Break up the smoothness. Yeah, I've never actually played D&D properly myself. You could literally just use anything, right, as an enemy. How do most groups solve that? Like, if you like, what is the most common way that people usually solve that issue of needing like maybe too many miniatures that aren't really realistic? Like, if you fight the same type of enemy, I guess it makes sense to reuse models, but... I'm blending it out a little bit here with the previously used color. A little shoulder piece. I think that works. Yeah, that's good. I did play Baldur's Gate, that's true. I guess that's a full-on Dungeons and Dragons game. I did beat it. Like an absolute face tank. Is the shoulder too bright, do you think? I think it's okay. I think it's honestly fine. I need to just get on with the rest of the mini. I think I'll probably all... Good one, NM, or MN. Thank you for tuning in. Some really tiny ridges over here on the face. Trying to catch just those. don't even know what this is, man. Are these like gills? They look like gills. Do Zerglings live in water? Are they actually aquatic? If I go swimming in the ocean, might I encounter a Zergling? That's why I don't swim in oceans, dude. You never know when the Zergling's gonna appear. Yeah, I guess we have many underwater maps in SC2. Very popular. Good point. Tiny little dots as well on the shoulder again. On the other shoulder now this time around. Mixing in this white does desaturate the purple a lot, but I think it works. I think it's okay. I don't want to go too bright. You can make bright minis, but these are supposed to be vicious killers, right? Okay. Going over it again with the previous wash. Help smooth it out a little bit. Transition between these colors. Yo, Maxwell, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Also gonna take a little bit of the Agrex again. And in between these sections, to create a little bit of separation. Good. He has a tiny, tiny, tiny eye. What color do you think would be best for the eye? Yellow or red? I think those are the two options. What do you think would look best? I honestly don't know. It's a big choice, guys. Painting eyeballs is very tricky. I think yellow. I think yellow is probably nice. Yeah, I think yellow is the way to go. This is the classic yellow, okay, that people use for this sort of thing. It is insanely bright. Yellow is also kind of a pain in the ass to paint. But I will try and get the job done. Glad you enjoyed, Maxwell. Hell yeah. Okay, I got the absolute tiniest little bit of yellow on my palette. And all we gotta do is just hit the spot, you know? Just hit the tiny little eyeball. Just try to be stable. Good. doing this sort of thing, you don't want to dilute paint too much. Just enough to flow off the brush, but no more than that. Just don't breathe, okay? Don't bother breathing. Breathing is overrated. Okay, good. I would like to highlight the... there's a little tiny ridge, like an eyelid, above the eye, that I'm going to use with the brightest pink that I've been using here. I'm going to try and... very subtly. Okay. Yeah, oxygen is overrated. And right on the tip. Try again. Okay. What do we think, chat? The eyeballs help. I'm gonna wash it a little bit again with the brown. The wash, which will settle into the recesses a bit. Hopefully create a little bit of shading. Yeah, good. Yeah. We'll leave that as it is. Okay, back to highlighting the purple we go. I need to mix in a little bit more on my palette. These are very thin lines, but... I think I'll add little tiny dots onto whatever these little pockets are. These little circular knob thingies. I'll even do some pure Screaming Skull dots as well. This is actually just an off-white, but you can kind of use off-white to highlight anything. How many paints do I have? How many different shades of mini color do I have? Who's asking? My mom? Low wife? 12. Whoa, what the fuck? Why is there yellow on the fucking rim? When did I put that there? Ah! Luckily it's the rim, dude. Holy crap. That's scary. How long has it been there? Jeez. I managed to get... how did that even happen? I managed to get some pink paint, or some yellow paint apparently on my finger. Could have smudged the mini very easily with it. Good thing I didn't. That would have kind of sucked. I have to finish the rim later anyways, it's okay. That's the final part of a mini, okay? You always finish with a rim job. With any form of mini painting you do. You don't start with the rim. You never start with it. Painting the rim. Trying to smooth it all out again. Oh. Doing a little bit of the pure stuff. Pure off-white. Ooh, okay. I'll tone it down just a little bit. You want to try and get your kids into this hobby? Yo! You know, getting your kids into any sort of miniature painting is an excellent way to make sure that they will never be able to afford drugs or cigarettes or alcohol or anything like it. Smart. It's honestly kind of smart. You will have birthday ideas, birthday gift ideas for the next decades. Let me tell you, there's always more minis. There's always more things. How about girlfriends? Ah, do you really want your kids to get girlfriends though? I don't know, dude. First of all, girls are icky. Second of all, that would really cut into their RuneScape grinding time. $99 fire making isn't gonna get itself, dude. Keep that in mind. But then again, girls really do love it when you have 99 fire making on your RuneScape account. Like that is something girls really fancy. I've been told that there's nothing hotter to girls or women in general than you having maxed out raid gear in World of Warcraft. Boys too, there you go. Girls love sea shanty too in RuneScape, it's true. There's nothing quite like it. Nice. Nice. Okay. Let's do the same thing on the other side. No, Low Wife literally told me that she knew I was nerdy, but she didn't think that I was gonna be quite as nerdy as I turned out to be. Like, I never hid it. I was always very upfront about the fact that I liked everything nerdy. And she was like, yeah, okay, whatever. But it didn't really hit her until like 4 years in. Quite literally every hobby I have is nerdy. And that I try to min-max all the things. Like, surely it can't be that bad. Like, sure, he said it, but like, what does that even mean? What is the base brown and purple that I used? So I actually have a YouTube video going up today on youtube.com/moreloco. This one will go up there too. Shout out to the future More Loco viewers that are watching this. But I have a full painting process that will go up on YouTube in case you're interested. But for the brown carapace, I used Mournfang Brown. And then for the base coat of the purple, I used Nagaroth Night. I think the Nagaroth Night is probably too dark, to be honest. I would go a tint brighter, probably, but it's okay. We're highlighting it manually with a brush, and it's a lot of fun. You could definitely go a little bit brighter, I think, though, on the purple base coat in particular. It looks leathery. Yeah, maybe it looks a little bit leathery. It looks more like a Brood War Zergling, I guess. Isn't a bad thing. A little bit of the brownish tint again. Some of this. So it's not too bright. For this particular mini, I just started painting with the colors that I thought would be good. I don't know if they will work out great. But we can make adjustments as we go. All right, I think I'm gonna try to highlight the little teeth. He's got many little teeth. They're tiny though. But I can kind of use the side of the brush a bit. Especially towards the tips, I want to have a... little bit of a brighter indicator. I'm a Zergling dentist. Make him look nice and sharp. Not too bad. Yeah, we haven't quite finished up the brown highlights just yet. I need to go a step further as well. Try and create a little bit of texture over here. Yo, Pickett! 144 months, you absolute madman. Casual decade resub, dude. Holy fuck. Thank you, Pickett. Thank you so much. Pickett, one of the OGs of the channel. I just had my Twitch partner anniversary a couple of days ago. So Pickett quite literally subscribed. Like a day or two after I became a Twitch partner, and he's never stopped. Thank you for the 12 years, man. That's crazy. It's a really long time. Appreciate it. Insane. That's crazy, actually, man. 12 years. Ay, ay, ay. What a gamer. Okay. Purple looking pretty good. Gotta go back to the little claws up top now. We haven't really, gotta mix a little bit more of a fresh batch. Haven't highlighted those up yet. We're not far enough anyways. These are the furthest up. So obviously pointing up. We do have to make them reasonably bright. That's a little much. Just lick it off. Lick it. Okay. A little bit of the pure off-white again. For the sharpest ridges. Whew, okay. Another question is quickly becoming, did we go too far? Probably not. My eldest son wants to try out mini painting after watching the stream. What entry-level paints and pencils do you recommend? I need them to be cheap in the event of abandoning the idea completely. There is a little bit of an upfront cost. I think for first getting started, you can probably buy one of the starter sets. Like, there are a bunch of starter sets available for the different types of tabletop war games out there. They tend to be the absolute best value. Basically, you get like a little box of miniatures. Usually it's gonna be like Space Marines versus Tyranids or whatever, and you get like 5 paints that you can use for both of them. Something like that will maybe set you back 30 euro, I think. The key about those though is that those are also the only and the best deal you will ever find with mini painting. Like, usually the first hit is free, but not with mini painting, man. You still have to pay even for the first hit. What's up, Barnacle Bob? How's the Zerglings? I think they're coming along. Should have painted Easter eggs, man. Would have been cheaper. Too late now. I'm making the brightest highlights a little bit more purpley again by adding a little bit of a wash type of consistency paint over the brightest highlights. So it doesn't stand out too harshly. I feel like what's throwing me off for the legs is the fact that it's so freaking, like there's a little bit of a shine. I don't know how obvious it is on stream, but those little postural things are kind of shiny. It'll look different when we apply the varnish. Maybe though, what I should do is just add a little bit of varnish with brush, just to see what it actually looks like. This stuff is awesome. This is called Ultra Matte Varnish, which, believe it or not, is very matte. Yeah, it's really fun, Mickey. It's a good set of minis. Yeah, the Ultra Matte Varnish is extremely matte. You do have to shake the shit out of this stuff, though. Because sometimes, if you don't shake it properly, the stuff that makes this thing up, whatever it is, I don't really know, separates. And you end up making a very glossy miniature instead. So I'm just gonna do like a little drop of it. Dilute it with some water. This is the closest we can get to quick saving, okay? With mini painting. Because this does apply like a little bit of a protective layer. An IRL quick save. I think I will do an all-over airbrush of this stuff later on. Just to see what it actually currently looks like, because it's a little hard to say. So this is a fully transparent layer. That I will mute the colors a little bit too, because obviously I'm making it more matte. It will also make it a little bit more muted. Shouldn't take too long to dry. Just to knock the gloss off. See what we're actually working with. Okay. Yeah, for about an hour or so of painting, the purple looks so much better. Like, you can spend many hours just refining it over and over and over again. I think this looks pretty good, right? Next up, I'll have to do all of the claws.